This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, showdown of pole vault kings in Sweden. It's Mondo versus our very own Obiena. GlobalPort charges into USPA Bronze Cup final with heart-stopping OT win. Alcaraz cruises into Indian Wells last 16 as he eyes a historic three-peat. In the NBA, Jokic dominates with 35 as the Nuggets crush the Thunder. Meanwhile, the LeBron-less Lakers fall to the Nets in a nail-biter. And joining us in the studio tonight, Filipino Pro Wrestling's golden boy, the blessed one, Chino Guinto. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 11th of March. Now here's our roundup. World number 4 Obiena is set to clash with pole vaulting phenom Mondo Duplantis at the Mondo Classic in Uppsala, Sweden this Thursday. And while it's a high-profile meet, Obiena's keeping his cool. This indoor event is stacked with the world's best vaulters, but for Obiena, it's all about getting ready for the bigger stage. The outdoor season kicking off in Xiamen, China on April 26. After spending 4 months recovering from a stress fracture in his spine, Obiena returned to competition last January, chasing a spot in the World Indoor Athletics Championships in China. He fought through 6 competitions but couldn't clear the 5.85-meter qualifying mark. His final shot in Estonia on February 22 saw him take first place, but his 5.65-meter jump fell short of the cut. With most of Europe's circuits shutting down for their indoor championships, he ran out of meets to compete in. Obiena isn't sweating the indoor season too much because the real battle begins in the outdoor season, starting with the Diamond League in Xiamen. The Diamond League features 14 elite events leading up to the 2-day final in Zurich in August, where big money and big titles are on the line. For now, all eyes on Sweden. Can Obiena deliver a statement performance at the Mondo Classic, or will Duplantis dominate on his home turf? Stay tuned. GlobalPort stormed into the USPA Bronze Cup final after a thrilling 10-9 overtime win against Casablanca, clinching a spot in one of the most prestigious polo events in the United States. Down 3-8 at halftime and 4-9 at the end of the fourth chukker, GlobalPort staged a dramatic comeback. Jack Whitman sank 2 crucial penalty shots to cut the deficit to 8-9 before 18-year-old Argentinian Beltran Lualje took over, scoring the equalizer and the sudden death winner in overtime. Now it's payback time as GlobalPort faces unbeaten White on Z in the final, a rematch of their bracket clash where GlobalPort fell short 8-9. Led by Mikey Romero and Filipino-American 5-goaler Anthony Garcia, GlobalPort aims to bring home the title and make history on the international polo stage. The Bronze Cup is a 12-goal tournament organized by the United States Polo Association, held as part of the Gauntlet of Polo, a trilogy of elite tournaments considered the sport's triple crown. With GlobalPort competing against the best teams in the world, the Bronze Cup final is a testament to the growing presence of Filipino polo on the global stage. Two-time defending champion Carlos Alcaraz kept his Indian Wells three-peat dream alive with a dominant 6-2, 6-4 victory over an in-form Denis Shapovalov. The world number 3 wasted no time breaking Shapovalov in the opening game and storming to a 5-0 lead in the first set. Alcaraz was rock solid on serve, saving 3 of 4 breakpoints while converting 4 of his own in a shift 1 hour 24-minute win, or a swift 1 hour 24-minute win. With number 2 seed Alexander Zverev already out, Alcaraz is now the highest ranked player left in the draw and is aiming to join Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic as the only men to win 3 straight Indian Wells titles. In the NBA, Nikola Jokic proved once again why he's a 3-time MVP, delivering a monster 35-point performance to power the Denver Nuggets to a statement 140-127 win over the Western Conference leading Oklahoma City Thunder. Denver came into the game with a chip on their shoulder after suffering a blowout loss to the Thunder just days earlier. But this time, the Nuggets took control early and never let up. A second-half surge, outscoring OKC 73-54, sealed the deal and snapped the Thunder's 8-game win streak. Jamal Murray matched Jokic's intensity, exploding for 34 points in a deadly 1-2 punch that pushed Denver into second place in the West. OKC fought hard behind Lou Dort's 26 points and 25-point effort from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but they couldn't slow down Denver's relentless attack. Meanwhile, no LeBron, no closer. The Los Angeles Lakers struggled without their superstar, letting a 15-point lead slip away as the Brooklyn Nets rallied for a 111-108 victory. The Lakers started strong, but Brooklyn took control heading into halftime and never looked back. Noah Clowney ignited Brooklyn with 19 points off the bench, while Cameron Johnson and Keon Johnson chipped in 18 each to keep the pressure on. Gabe Vincent delivered a season-high 24 points for LA, and Luka Doncic notched a triple-double with 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 12 assists. But it wasn't enough to stop the Lakers from dropping their second straight game without James. The Western Conference battle is heating up, and every game matters as the playoffs draw closer. And here are more results from around the NBA. And here's your daily dose of sports lingo. The crossover dribble, one of the most beautiful and most effective moves in basketball. You're dribbling with your right hand, defenders in front of you thinking they've got you locked up, and then boom! You shift the ball to your left in one quick motion, and suddenly they're stumbling like they just stepped on black ice. Iverson did it to MJ. Kyrie's built a career off of it. And Harden, he turned it into an art form. The best part, it's not just a move, it's a statement. You're telling the defender, I am in control, and you are about to look foolish. Classic hoops magic. It's time for our off-court buzzer. Sabrina Ionescu lights up Manila as she brings WNBA star power to hoops crazy fans. WNBA champion and Olympic gold medalist Sabrina Ionescu touched down in Manila, and Filipino hoops fans made sure she felt the love. From high-energy meetups to hoop sessions with local ballers, Ionescu's 3-day visit was nothing short of electric. The WNBA star took center stage alongside NU star Camille Clarin, Gilas and Ginebra legend L.A. Tenorio, and LaSalle Lady Archers coach Cholo Villanueva, turning the event into a deep dive into elite basketball IQ. After dropping knowledge, Ionescu showed why she's one of the game's best, as she laced up and went to work with local standouts like two-time UAP MVP Casey De La Rosa of Ateneo, UP sensation Luana Ozar, and members of the Gilas women's national team. Ionescu's visit wasn't just a moment, it was a statement. Women's basketball is here to stay, and it's only getting bigger. And that's our roundup for tonight, the 11th of March. Up next, Filipino Pro Wrestling Golden Boy, the blessed one, Chino Guinto, joins us right here inside the BNC studio. So watch out for that when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. He is Filipino Pro Wrestling's undisputed Golden Boy, sporting an unblemished record during the 2024 season. And now, he is hungry for more. From the hills of Alabang, please welcome to the BNC studio, the blessed one, Chino Guinto.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good evening,
Thank you for
my man.
having me.
Welcome,
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the Scorecard, my friend. My goodness, we got the blessed one here on the show from Filipino Pro Wrestling, FPW. And you guys are going to be having your first event this coming March 23. How are things and how's the build-up towards the first event for the year for FPW?
We're excited. Last event was back in October, and we ended the year strong. We were garnering a good fan base. Sobrang dami na nanonood. Standing room only. I think you were there. Some members of the Bilyonaryo team were there also. And para sa amin, this upcoming 2025, first show for 2025, we are excited to show you what we can do this 2025.
It was a shocking ending, though, to that last event. I did not expect Mike Madrigal to lose the belt to a guy who is not even here on the regular, Mr. Jeff Cobb. So how is that going to work? Because I'm looking at the Instagram and I'm seeing so many names. I'm seeing Cuatro. Is he number one? Chino Guinto, is he number one?
Yes.
Mike Madrigal, is he number one? Even Robin, is she number one? Ano ba ang sitwasyon? How are you guys gonna try to bring the belt back to the Philippines?
Well, here's the thing. It's a matter of who's worthy enough to be the number one contender. Sige, let's say Cuatro. I think he's number one on the list. But he was appointed by the president, Red Oliero. Thank you very much, Red. Number two, we have Mike, of course. He's the former champion with the right for a rematch.
Okay.
Of course, ako, you mentioned earlier, undefeated 2024.
Yep.
And we have Robin, who was also number one contender, coming back from injury, staking her claim. Personally, I think everyone is worthy for the championship.
Okay.
Everyone is worthy to challenge Jeff Cobb, a legit Japanese-Filipino star. But let's be real, Anton. I think it should be me.
All right, we will get back to that in a bit. I want to get a little bit of your background, but I just want to ask. So itong mangyayari sa March 23, dito natin malalaman, by the end of this event, we're gonna find out who's number one. That's what's at stake.
That's what Red Oliero guarantees.
Okay.
Kasi we all have a claim. All four of us have a claim to be number one contender. Pero as checking with this office, on March 23 pa magkakaalamanan who will be undisputed number one contender to the FPW Championship.
All right, and do you have a match already? Alam mo na kung sino makakalaban mo?
Wala. From what I heard, papatawag kami sa ring and we will have, I think, an open meeting involving everyone.
Okay.
Then I guess maririnig ni Red Oliero na ang fans would want Chino Guinto to be number one contender, di ba?
Okay, so first time I watched you, we're gonna go to your background now. The first time I watched you, there were fans, Chino, and you come in and I say, okay, this guy's a baby face.
Yeah.
The fans are cheering. How did you come up with this persona and what is it about the hills of Alabang?
See, I started out this character. Of course, we are an audience, Filipinos are an audience na really more into entertainment, into big characters. So I wanted to really come in and introduce myself na different from the rest. Ayoko to come in na parang, yung usual jock guy na magaling sa ganito, magaling sa ganyan. So I want to come in, strike immediate attention to me. So, of course, I harkened back to sino ako, living from the South. Yes, taga Alabang Hills po ako. Financy lang po yung Hills of Alabang. I used to wear a double pop collar shirt so people pay attention. And it's really just centering around who I am as Chino Guinto, the golden boy. So that's how it started. Yan, may buhok pa ako ng time na yan.
And also, the blessed one. That's what you were calling yourself.
Yes.
I remember when you were introduced to the ring. Saan naman nanggaling yon, yung the blessed one?
I've been wrestling since 2015. And I've been calling myself the golden boy since then.
Okay.
So I felt around like 2017, 2018, there should be a progression of, kasi pag sabi mong golden boy, it gets tiring, di ba? People will think na, sige, ikaw na yung chosen one, ikaw na yan. But, so I decided to transcend into a different part of my persona, being, hashtag blessed. Actually, that kasama talaga yung hashtag dyan. Hashtag blessed.
Ito naman, one of the storylines that you had in FPW was, is Chino Guinto going to retire? So what is the status? Because now it's like you're fighting for the number one contendership, but previous events, sinasabi nila, is this your last match?
Anton, back in 2023, it was the reverse of 2024. I wasn't winning anything. When we began FPW back in 2022, from then up to 2023, di ako nananalo. 0. And I've been wrestling for a while, and I feel na hindi ako pinibigyan ng atensyon ng management. So, I made a bet with myself.
Okay.
Win or go home, championship or die. So I said in one show, kay Red Oliero, our president, starting today, moving onwards, I will prove myself worthy for the championship. Siyempre, I want to go down the path na maayos. And if I lose anytime during that journey, I will be retiring. So basically, each match I do, it's win or go home. It's do or die. So I guess siguro it also helped spark something different in me. Na every time pinipin ako, masakit yung bato ko. Sinalpak ako ng suplex ang malakas. May isip ko, last na to. So, it gives me a bit of energy to kick out. But that's it. It's really just do or die for me. Kaya rin demanding ako to get my recognition as a number one contender.
And I feel like every wrestler should have that sort of mantra. So right now, for you, it's do or die. For John Cena, of course, it's never give up. But based on the latest developments, I don't know if it's still never give up because he recently shocked the entire world by turning heel, and he now has the Guinness Book of World Records for longest term as a babyface. What is your reaction and explanation to John Cena turning heel?
Okay, it may be an unpopular opinion, pero I think it's justifiable. He talks about never giving up. He talked about, this is his last run. And siguro, similar to when I made my own bet, baka sa kanya, his way of putting it all on the line is, sacrificing his morals. Let's be real, John Cena was never the goody two-shoes. Some may say na sobrang bait niya for the longest time babyface. Pero we forget na may time na nananapak siya na naka-chain gang, di ba? And there are times that he jumps over people and he buries people, as they say in the wrestling industry. And I think this is his best way to really prove na he's washed, a bit of washed. Pero now he has to take it to the next level by joining The Rock and proving once and for all na even though he's not being cheered by the people, he is still, as I say, the GOAT. I'm not saying that I agree with him, but I guess justifiable yung means niya.
Wait, do you think John Cena is the GOAT when it comes to wrestling?
At this point in time, yes, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, now I will ask you to make a prediction which we will come back to later on.
Yeah.
Will John Cena make history and become a 17-time world champion? Eto, babalikan natin to, Chino, down the road. Tingin mo, with this latest development, ipapanalo ba ng WWE si John Cena after he just shocked everybody by turning heel?
Ito yung pinaka-tough na question mo sa akin tonight. Pero sige, let's go back on today. I believe that he is winning his record-breaking 17th World Championship, taking down Cody Rhodes this WrestleMania.
Ayan, galing kay Chino Guinto, the blessed one. All right, Chino, kindly invite everybody. March 23, FPW is finally back, coming back bigger and stronger here in 2025.
Okay, so if you love how WWE is right now, if you're a fan of pro wrestling, get your own dose of Filipino pro wrestling. So we have a show this March 23. We have our storylines for you, but we also have great characters, including yourself, Chino Guinto. And, we will be having our show March 23 at Bake Studios in Makati City. Tickets are still available at tickettome.net, exclusively at tickettome.net. I think tickets start at 1,000 per head, but if you have a barkada of 3 or if you have your family with you, we have this thing called the triple threat.
Yun.
So it's 2,500 for 3. Sobrang great deal. And of course, it's gonna be an afternoon of pro wrestling action with the Filipino twist.
Ayan.
So, see you there.
All right, the blessed one.
Thank you
Chino
so much.
Guinto here on the Scorecard. Thank you so much and best of luck this coming March 23.
Thank you.
When the Scorecard returns, we will look into the NBA's trade moves so you can keep your eyes on the prize. Welcome back to the Scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. All right, guys, let's look into the 2025 NBA trade deadline's biggest what were they thinking moves. Because the trade deadline saw blockbuster deals and teams betting big on their futures. The Warriors revived their dynasty with Jimmy Butler. The Lakers, they landed Luka Doncic. The Cavaliers got DeAndre Hunter for almost nothing. But not every move was a win. Pag-usapan natin to. There was a time when you'd get laughed out of the building for suggesting that the Dallas Mavericks fumbled things with the Luka Doncic trade. But then, of course, the Mavericks, well, they're having a hard time right now because everybody got injured. Anthony Davis out for an indefinite period of time. Kyrie Irving is also out for an indefinite period of time. And now they have become the butt of jokes, itong Dallas Mavericks. And then, of course, we're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. Minalas, because LeBron James all of a sudden is out for at least probably 2 weeks with a groin injury, and Luka Doncic will try to put the team on his back for the time being. And then, of course, the situation between Dallas and LA, that's something that we're going to have to figure out as we move forward, because we're not sure what's going to happen here. Because Luka Doncic and, of course, Anthony Davis, this was the trade that happened that shocked the NBA world. And yet, here we are. Dallas still has a chance to control the market and open up a bidding war and walk away with a historic haul. But instead, they took the single-team approach, dealing with only the Lakers to avoid a messy superstar divorce optics. But guess what? The optics are worse now, and the return Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a future first-round pick. That's it. A top 8 MVP finisher in 5 straight seasons, gone for a 32-year-old star battling injuries. And then there's a role player and a pick that doesn't look half as valuable now that LA has a clear post-LeBron vision. The backlash, of course, was instant as one Western Conference executive told The Ringer, "The return sucks. Your job is to get the best return." And the worst part, this was predictable. Davis is already hurt, Kyrie Irving out for the season, and now Dallas, a team that had generational cornerstone, is just left scrambling to be competitive. And then we go to this right here, the Quentin Grimes blunder. If shipping out Doncic wasn't bad enough, Dallas doubled down on deadline disasters with their move for Quentin Grimes, or rather how they mishandled it. As part of the fallout from the Doncic trade, the Mavericks flipped Grimes to the Sixers for Caleb Martin, somehow attaching a second-round pick in the process. And at the time, it barely made waves. But fast forward, and it looks brutal. Martin still sidelined with a hip injury, Grimes thriving. In just 10 games with Philly, he's already had multiple 30-point outings and is averaging 16.5 points on 50.4 shooting, 37.7 from deep, plus 5.5 rebounds and 3.4 assists per game. Dallas essentially paid to offload a 24-year-old two-way guard with restricted free agency ahead of him. Grimes, he's now on the rise though, while the Mavericks got, what exactly, a hustle guy who may never be a real offensive threat. It's another deadline fumble that could haunt them. And now we get to the Orlando Magic, a trade deadline no-show. And you know what? Sometimes the best moves are the ones that you don't make. Other times, not making a move is just a massive missed opportunity. So we have the Magic, that's what they are. They had a problem. They were a defensive juggernaut, second in the league in defensive efficiency, but their offense was a complete disaster. They ranked 28th in offensive rating, dead last in three-pointers made, and last in three-point percentage, and yet they still did nothing. According to team president Jeff Weltman, Orlando wasn't interested in making moves just for the sake of making moves. We didn't regard ourselves as having to panic right now. Right. But when exactly would panic set in? This is a team that desperately needed floor spacing and offensive firepower. Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero are studs. But how long do you want them carrying a broken offense? Windows to contend don't stay open forever. The Magic should have struck while the iron was hot. The Mavericks and the Magic both dropped the ball. Dallas by botching a superstar trade, and Orlando by just refusing to act. These decisions might haunt them when June arrives. Now stay ahead of the game with the full lineup of NBA matchups tomorrow. And that wraps up tonight's preview, so you can keep your eyes on the prize. Before we go, think on this. From a four-time NBA champion and two-time MVP who revolutionized basketball with his three-point shooting, Stephen Curry, he once said, "Success is not an accident. Success is actually a choice." And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow on the Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport, on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This has been Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Good night.